Oh, there we go. All right, so let's start at warm context. Most of you have probably seen this FFBC, Family, Friends, Business, Community. So I'm going to go through each of those first. Just so you guys know, when I first started this business 13 years ago, I actually went through quite a few of my warm contacts. We used a scanner back then, and we just went and scanned our entire family, cousins, aunts, uncles, everything. And we also went through all of our friends and told them about this opportunity. And many of them actually joined, especially I had a really good cousin. I had a few of my really good friends joined our business. And after a few months, they quit. But what we did was we went through our warm contacts. And so the one thing that you can do is start with family, for example, is draw out your family tree and start out with like your great grandparents or something, and just kind of see how big a family tree you can draw out. And what you want to do there is be able to get in touch with anybody that's family to you, cousins, second cousins, like really distant uncles and aunts and whatever else, right? And my challenge to you is that you make sure that everyone in your family knows what you're doing. I'm not saying that you need to get them all into the business. I'm saying they all need to know what you're doing. And one of the things that I would have them be open to looking for are people that are good with social media, people that are positive. You know, you want to describe a little bit more detail what you're looking for that would help you to build your business. And if you show them some kind of a presentation or explain to them a little bit more about what you do, and then ask them if they ever come across anybody that is looking for an extra income, if they ever come across somebody who is really into beauty or health, if they ever come across somebody who is really well connected on either Facebook or on Instagram or something, then connect them to you, right? So they know what they're looking for all the time. If you're too broad, you just say like, look, just send me anybody who could be interested in this. Then they're not really going to think about it very much. But if you go more specifically into how they can connect you with people, that helps a lot, right? So that's to the family. The friends, okay, and it's the same thing here. They definitely don't have to join you, but they should be supportive and also refer people. And this is, once again, we have very often, it's some of our best friends who are kind of the dream stealers and the big doubters, family and closest friends. And what you can come to them with is to say, look, you don't have to join me at all. I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you to join my business, but I want you to find out about it, and I want you to be supportive, right? And very often when you come at it at that approach, they're not thinking that you're like trying to pitch them or trying to con them into something. You're just saying like, look, I want your support. If this is for you, great, then join me. But that's not like my primary thing here is that you're going to be supportive of me long term. And what you'll actually see happens a lot of times when you start to have success, a lot of times the family and friends come into the business. I built most of my business through cold contacts, but it's actually over these last few years that I've been able to get very good cousin, a very good good friend of ours as well in Portugal, and several other people that my mom has referred to, a really good old friend as well. And so it's kind of funny how it works later on once you start having success, obviously. But I would definitely start out with warm contacts because those are the people that believe and trust in you. And that's the funny thing when we've been working with social media is that we sometimes forget about people that we actually know, and we start prospecting cold contacts right away. The next one here is business, and it's a little bit like, just think of who have you ever worked with, who's ever been your boss, who's ever been sitting next to you at a desk or whatever job you've ever had, who's been your customers, your suppliers, your bosses, whatever else, right? Just think who you've ever done business with. If you own a business, then obviously this could be a huge database of people. Okay, and then the last one here is community, and I just want to see here with all of you, is have you spoken to all your neighbors about this? Have you, do they all know what you're doing as well, right? And one of the things that I always think is go out there and make a friend and then connect on social media. You don't have to pitch a lot of people because that you can let a lot of times social media and attraction marketing take care of that. But what you should be doing all the time is connecting with people wherever you go, whether you go to the supermarket and the person's checking you out, somebody who's helping serving you food at a restaurant, any of those things. I'm sure that's not a career that they want to stay in for the rest of their lives, right? It's not like there's like, yes, I made it. My career is done. Like, I want to stay here and be this amazing, waiter or waitress for the rest of my life. I've just made it, like, I'm sure they're not really thinking like that, right? They're like, oh, great. This is a temporary job, but I'm looking for something better. I want a better life, right? And so, you know, your job is to make friends with them and then connect with them on social media and see how you can take it from there. Okay. Right. So another thing with warm contacts that we often forget, especially new people that join our business, is to look through your phone, look through your phone contacts, that people that you've actually called. I know people don't call people anymore; they just, you know, message. But look through who you have in there, the phone numbers. Go through obviously all your Facebook contacts, all your LinkedIn contacts, all your Skype contacts, all your WhatsApp contacts. You know, get in touch with them and just say like, look, I've just started a new business. And I would love to share what I'm doing to see if you know people who could be interested in what I'm doing. You can do the third party kind of approach, or you can of course say like, look, I think you have amazing energy. I would love to have you as part of my team. Why don't you have a look? You know, it's completely up to you how you approach these people, and you might, you know, want to customize that and so on. And some of these people might be perfect for the products, right? We have brilliant products for everybody. I mean, who does not want whiter teeth, right? Like we have so many amazing products. Okay. So what I wanted to focus on here a little bit more was how can we find people through cold contacts? And this is something that, here we go again, like, you know, when you're meeting people all over the place, transport, restaurants, you know, how can you connect with them? How can you strike up a conversation? I know, you know, Guy Riley sat next to somebody on the train once, and he just saw awful like acne skin, and he approached them. I don't think he just said like, look, like you got acne, let's talk, you know, but he started speaking to them, and he made contact, and that person actually ended up becoming an executive in his organization. So, you know, you just never know what's going to happen. Actually, maybe even more than that, gold lapis or something, right? So, you know, it's so important that you're making friends wherever you go, and you know, someone who's absolutely amazing at that is Christian. He's, you know, wherever he goes, he's just talking to people, right? So let's go over a bit about the cold contacts, because that's essentially how I built my entire business. When I moved to the UK, and then I'm going to jump into a little bit about social media and show you a few examples of what you can do there. What I did when I moved to London, I knew two people there. I knew Mary and one of my best friends, Natalia. Like those are the only two people that I knew who were in London. And what I had to do was I said, like, look, like I've got to build this business. Like I have no choice, right? I burnt my bridges. I quit my jobs. I did, you know, everything was just gone, and I had to make this work. And so I just started walking the streets of London. I just started to walk into shops. I started walking into not just beauty salons and hair salons, but I started walking into any shop, like any place that anyone who would talk to me, right? And what's funnily enough, I looked through a few of the people that have joined my business throughout the years, and one person who became an executive was she owned a Brazilian shop, and at the time I was really focusing on Brazil. I heard from the company we were about to open Brazil, which still hasn't happened yet, and still might not happen for 10 years, who knows. But anyway, at that time, we were opening up in Brazil, and so I just started to focus, okay, how can I find Brazilian community? How can I find Brazilians here in London? And so I just walked into her shop. She was selling, like, she sells food in there. And I just struck up a conversation with her, and then booked a meeting to come in and present her the business. And of course, I just asked her to help me out. Like it was a very much third party approach, where I didn't say like, look, I want you to do this business, but I just said like, look, you know, if you know a lot of people in the Brazilian community, it would be amazing to sit down and talk, because I need some help with a bit, you know, growing this business. We're expanding to Brazil, blah blah blah, right? And so from that, she actually ended up becoming an executive in my team and so on, just walking into places. And that's what a lot of us, you know, we love the walking and talking into salons and so on. We have so many salons that we've been able to sign up over the years and sell products to. And now is that one of those times where we have the LumiSpa. I just don't see why any place that does anything to do with beauty, fillers, you know, any kind of clinic, any dentist that does Botox and fillers, why would they not want to sell the LumiSpa? I mean, this is a no-brainer, right? The price point, everything, what it does, and so on. And just to share with you guys, I was looking at my skin the other day, and of course I'm going to jinx it now because of our event this weekend. I'm probably going to burst out with a bunch of zits or so on. I have never been as happy as I am with my skin right now since I was like 12 or 13 years old before my first zit. Okay, that's how awesome this LumiSpa is. And I'm not even like doing 2 minutes every morning, every night. I do probably, sometimes I do only do about 30 seconds. Sometimes I do, you know, a minute and a half. But I'm pretty religious about using it twice a day, every day. And it's an awesome, awesome tool to use right before you shave, because it really just softens up all your bristles and so on. So Next up here is networking events, okay? So I was just chatting to Alicia the other day, who went to an Athena women's networking event. Networking events can be absolutely amazing because you can meet a lot of people fairly quickly, right? And you can pick up a lot of business cards and so on. And she ended up booking like a big event from going to one of these networking events, where now there's going to be something like 15 to 20 women that are going to get a demo of our products, right? And they all want to get, a lot of them wanted to get scanned because of the scanner, a lot of them wanted to see the Loomis ball and so on, right? Networking events can be absolutely amazing because we have tools that nobody's seen before, right? Also, what's so great with Loomis is you can demonstrate it on a hand in 30 seconds. So, you know, you can go to networking events and actually do demos there and then if you meet the right people, okay? Another one that's been massive in finding prospects and contacts is exhibitions. And that's something that my brother and I spent many years in London doing exhibitions. And I'll tell you what, even though I met Simone, who online, okay, I connected with her. Simone was part of an exhibition that we did. It was a startup exhibition in London. It was a business startup exhibition. That exhibition still exists today every year. They have one. And it's just for people who are looking for new business. So if you ever go to these exhibitions, you can go as a visitor as well and just network with people. I know that one, for example, has speed networking all day long. You can just network with loads of people. But we had a stand there at this event, and that's where Simone actually met and signed up a guy named Dominic, who later on at another exhibition, Olympia Beauty, met Catherine Freeman. Okay, so you know, yes, these are a bit of old school ways of finding prospects and so on. But you can imagine, you know, Catherine Freeman came really through two different exhibitions and initially a social media way, right? And so you know, never discount that. Now with the Loomis Spa, I would get to as many exhibitions as I possibly could. The issue that we had sometimes with the Galvanic Spa was that everybody loved seeing it because we did demonstrations at the stands, whereas it was a bit messy and it took a bit long time, right? Whereas with the Loomis Spa, it's so much cleaner, so much simpler, so much quicker, and better results right away, right? So I would definitely do whatever you can to get onto these exhibitions. We can only have one Nu Skin inside an exhibition, so, and they're very costly, so you need to partner up with your team. You need to find other people that want to be a part of this, and you need to then share the leads and come up with some kind of teamwork way of doing it. We'd have about 10, 15 people at an exhibition to be able to pay for the price of having a stand there, right? So, but I had so much fun with that. And also what I would do is I would always constantly look for, are there any exhibitions going on where I can just go and be a visitor and just go and check it out, right? Another way that we also made a lot of contacts, one of them is the guy I met JD at, was a personal development seminar. If you can find personal development seminars and just meet people there, I mean, these are people that are already, you know, working on their mindset. Like, how amazing is that, right? And so any kind of Tony Robbins seminar, anything like that, is wonderful for meeting people that could potentially be great business partners. And obviously JD Diamond Executive has built a huge organization. Another thing I used to do a lot is just cold calls straight out of the phone book, and just look up, you know, whatever it was, mobile beauticians, you know, salons, whatever else, just give them a cold call. I know that maybe I can have actually Perry come on here a little at the end of this. Actually, I won't have time maybe to go through all my stuff today, but Perry's had some great results lately doing cold calling. I mean, that's essentially what she did before she joined Nu Skin, was working in the cold calling business. And so that's another way to go out there and find connections, right? I remember we used to look for directors of businesses going out of sale. Okay, it's maybe a bit more complicated, but just giving you some ideas here. Okay, people that are looking for work, there's tons of people. Like if you go on LinkedIn right now, you just search like looking for work or looking for opportunity. You can find loads of people that have that as part of their profile because they're actually looking for a job, right? Also, you have these like advertisement boards all over the place, right? Where people put up little advertisements, they're looking for work. You can put up an advertisement saying like, hey, you know, we have a great opportunity, you know, message me here or whatever else, right? Or you can also get in contact with these people that have their advertisement up saying they're looking for work, okay? Business cards, that's another thing. Sometimes you find like shops or whatever else where there's tons of business cards. I always, whenever I went to these places and I saw like, you know, 12 different business cards from different people, I would just pick them all up and then just start calling these people or connecting with them later on, right? Because I'm seeing these are actually people that are very open-minded. These are people that are taking action. They're actually putting their cards somewhere. They're probably going to be struggle in whatever business they're doing because business is hard. No matter what business you're in, it's, you know, as all of you know, it's not easy to build a Nu Skin business either. But these people are on it in terms of they're taking action, they're being proactive, right? Okay, so let's jump into social media here a little bit. Let's see here if I can do this in about 5 minutes time. Okay, so one that's actually still existing that I used to use a lot, I got kicked out of, was zing.com. That's the thing, you want to push the buttons to see like how are you, using things so much that a lot of people are sometimes in Facebook jail. That means you're taking action. Hey, that's a good thing sometimes, right? Okay, you don't want to be there all the time. You don't want to break all the rules, but you want to push the limit as much as you can. Another place where I actually connected with Guy Rowley was academy.com. I connected with a lady on there, and I got in a phone conversation with her, and we spoke for about half an hour. And at the end of the phone conversation, I just said, like, who do you know who could be interested, open to a new project, working with nutrition and beauty? And she's like, look, I know 2 people. She gave me two names, and one of them ended up being Guy Rowley. So it's the same thing as LinkedIn, essentially, the business social media thing. It's not around anymore. Meetup.com, a brilliant place where you can, you find things that you have an interest in, and you go to these meetups, and at the meetups, you're going to meet people that maybe have similar interests to you because you're going to that meetup based on that interest, right? And so it's a great way to meet new people and find new contacts as well, okay? Okay, so let's see here a couple of things I wanted to, because I'm sharing my screen, I can actually do this with you guys. So what I did here is I just jumped onto LinkedIn really quickly and put in mobile beauty, and I went to groups. So I put mobile beauty and I put groups. And on mobile beauty, they gave me a few different groups here. And then so I clicked on one of them, and that one came up with this one here. So there's only one member in this group, Sama Bilal. So what I did is I clicked on her profile. So she says, I offer a mobile beauty therapy service that you can enjoy in the comfort of your own home and venue of your choice. Enjoy being pampered by a fully qualified, experienced therapist and quality treatments at affordable prices, right? So then I jump onto her profile right away, and I see, okay, she's based in the UK in Slough, which is perfect because I'm going to the UK this weekend, and so she possibly could if I connect with her, right? So I see here she has 0 contacts, so she obviously doesn't use LinkedIn. So I looked her up on Facebook, and I found her on Facebook, and I see that she's actually got a clinic. And what I do, I message her, and so I'm not absolutely amazed. Oh, there we go. She's even responded to me. Let's see here. So I just said, hey, Sam, I came across your group on LinkedIn. Do you still run a beauty business? Are you mobile, or do you own a clinic? The reason I ask is that I work with an exciting technology that's launching in the UK, and we're looking for clinics to partner with to launch this. Let me know if you would be open to some more info. Hi, Daniel. I'm open to suggestions, more info about the product, please. Okay, so I just sent that like 10 minutes ago, right? So now I need to respond to her later on. So I'll get to that here, obviously, after the call. So hopefully that helps. Another thing you guys can do with social media is of course, the whole Facebook thing and Instagram thing, but I'm not going to go into those details here because hopefully you guys know that. But let's say that you do YouTube, you do start doing YouTube videos talking about products. We're allowed to do that. We're allowed to go share our experience about the products. Make a YouTube video sharing your story. Why are you doing this business? Give your 3-minute spiel, your 5-minute thing of why you're doing this business. Some of the most popular Facebook Lives have always been about people sharing their story, why they joined the business. They might be 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, right? I think Perry has her video has been seen over like 150 times or something like that, right? Now, you can have that on YouTube as well, and then you get subscribers. Every time somebody subscribes, you can actually go and check them out and then see, okay, and on here you can actually message them. And if you don't want to message them on here, you can actually then maybe just take their name and look them up on Facebook and say, oh, thanks so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel, okay? A lot of times in my situation, I might get people in my team. Actually, I don't have very many subscribers at 56. But anyway, it's just another idea that you can do with social media finding prospects. The same thing with Instagram. Every time somebody follows you, you just go click their name, you message them, you can say hello, and just start a conversation with them, especially if they're, you can see they're based close to you. Another one of my legs that's doing really well right now is I connected with a girl who's no longer in the business, but I connected with her by, I think I was using actually this tool right here, which is Follower Wonk, okay? So Follower Wonk, you can search bios, and what I did back then was I just searched for teeth whitening, and I searched Twitter profiles, and then I found the ones that were in the UK, and I would then get in touch with those people that are in the UK, and I would just say like, look, are you doing teeth whitening? Because I might, I have great opportunity or whatever else. I'm not 100% sure on the wording that I use, but she was open to it. She was doing teeth whitening in her business, and she was open to looking at our toothpaste, and then she knew a little bit about network marketing. She later on became an executive in my team, and she is now led me to Nelly Damon, who's an amazing ruby, who's got Luca, who's an amazing emerald. So, you know, it's just funny how this can work with, I never used Twitter, but I spent, you know, a couple months just doing something like this where I'm connecting to people, right? So I think that another thing that you can do is you can also go and look at events on Facebook and see, like, let's say that you're going to networking events and you just look up like Athena and you see like what events they have on Facebook, and you might see like, well, there's another 40 people that went to a certain event, and those are 40 people all have, you know, some kind of similar interest to you, and you can then get in touch with those people right there. So I hope that helps. I am going to see if I can bring on a few people here that can share a little bit more. How do we even get back here? There we go. Stop sharing. There we go. Do we have Perry? Can you just come on here quickly and share a little bit about just what you've been doing lately with your cold calling? Are you on even? You might not be on here. I might have lost you too. Oh, you're not signed in as OTG. Who's OTG? What's your 3? Hello? Can we hear you?
Yeah, I think Perry is there.
Huh?
Perry should be on.
Do you see her? There we go. Okay, let me unmute her really quickly, and then I'll come to you, Andrea. Perry, you with us?
Yeah, I can't seem to turn my camera on. It's just saying camera unavailable, so I don't know why it's saying that. Can you turn my camera on or not?
No.
Oh, okay. It's probably, I forgot the login details, so that's why. So
Okay.
yeah, thanks so much, Daniel. Some really amazing tips there. So yeah, in regards to cold calling, so I was, for people that don't know my background, I worked in a call centre for 4.5 years, and I started right from the bottom, or what we used to call the bottom, which was cold calling. So my job was to call businesses and book appointments with them for the rep to go and sell the product. So really straightforward. And something that I've not really utilised the actual cold calling process in my new skin business. I've utilised obviously the objection handling, the targets, and kind of the drive, but nothing else. So I saw the Lumi Spa as an opportunity for me to get on the phone to salons and book appointments to go and see the salon owners to hopefully close the deal. And how I did that process was really simple. So I just go onto Google, type in salons in this area. You can either go onto Yale or you can go onto, you know, just Google will give you the numbers. And I would basically call them and just you have to be really careful what it is that you say, because you don't want to sound really corporate. You don't want to sound like you're calling from a call centre, because they get these calls all the time, especially if they're not what we call TPS registered in the UK. So they'll just be getting hammered with PPI calls, insurance and all of that. So I basically have just been calling them and saying, I always assume, this is the #1 rule, is if you ask to speak to the owner of the salon, they're going to tell you that she's busy, they're going to tell you that she's not in, or they're going to hang up. Even if it is the owner of the salon, because it's a cold call. It sounds like a cold call. So #1 rule is to always assume that you're speaking to the owner. So rather than saying, can I speak to the owner of the salon, just say, is that the owner of the salon? And they kind of go, yeah, because they, you know, you're kind of tricking them into it. Or am I speaking to the owner of the salon? And then they're like, yeah, and they just say, hi, my name's Perry. Have you got a minute to speak? Or thank you for taking my call. Or sometimes I just go straight into it. And I just say, the reason for my call is I'm partnered with a global anti-aging and skincare company. We have a brand new device being launched into the market this month. And all I say is this tongue twister. And they're like, what the hell does that mean? I just say, it's the world's first dual action facial cleansing device. That's all I say. I don't say it's the Lumi Spa. I don't say anything like that. I just say that one statement. It's the world's first dual action facial cleansing device. You have to say it a couple of times, otherwise you won't be able to say it right. And I just say, I'm actually in your area next Tuesday and Thursday doing some free demos. I'd love to come in, do a 30-second demo on the back of your hand and get your expertise opinion on how you think this product could fit into the market. Could I come in on Tuesday at 10 o'clock? And then just assume they're going to say yes and go straight in with the close. And by that point, I found that 9 times out of 10, they've said yes. The only objection that I was getting was that it was either too close to Christmas, but now people are much more open to it, especially this month, because it's so, no one's doing anything in salons. It's so it's just so quiet. So that's another great way. And actually, the calls are all well and good, but what I would do after this, which is what we used to do in the call centre, was I actually typed up an email, like what we would call in the call centre a confirmation email, where I would put in the time that I'm seeing them, the day, and I also attached the LumiSpa pip, but I actually cropped out Nu Skin. And that's not because I'm ashamed of Nu Skin, but I don't want any opportunity for them to cancel the meeting until I get in front of them to tell them how amazing Nu Skin is. And then I would go to the meeting, and I'll be honest with you guys, before the LumiSpa, I'd never done this before. I'd never gone into a salon and pitched a galvanic. I'd never watched anybody do it. I just did it completely how I thought was the best way, which was just to be myself. So I went in with a suitcase of products. I just picked kind of the best products that I thought would complement an average salon, and just basically did the demo of the LumiSpa. But what I found with every salon was that they were so interested in all of the other products as well. And then it's just a case of following up. I'm still following up with the salons now, closing them down for, I'm trying to get a showcase night with every single salon, and obviously a LumiSpa sale as well. So I definitely recommend you guys. Yes, there's social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, so many different platforms, but there's nothing better out there, I don't care what anybody says, that getting in front of somebody's face and showing them how amazing our products are. And there's no better opportunity to do that with the LumiSpa. You are going to be scared. You're actually going to be petrified. And I know you're going to be petrified because I was petrified, and I have experience in doing it. I was absolutely petrified. But just, I jumped up and down and just walked around my kitchen loads of times and just did it with headphones in. I was constantly moving, and I just found that really helped. And the feeling of when somebody says yes, you just can't beat that feeling, just to get in front of them. And even if they say no on the day, it never stops you feeling so good that you did it. So I challenge everybody to do that and get outside your comfort zone.
Brilliant, excellent. Thank you so much for that, Perry. Yeah, I mean, when Guy and I used to do a lot of cold calling, I mean, he built a lot of his good lines that way. It was always walk around and get the energy going, and then we'd go in pairs, and whenever he'd finish a call, it'd be like high five, even if it was a total rejection, just that he did it. Anja, can you jump on here and just share a little bit, please, with us about some of your top ways of finding prospects, and then we've got to end the call after that.
Sure. Oh my God, what a great call with so much information. Thank you both, Danielle and Perry. Great things. So it's hard to say something after that, but I love what you said, Danielle, about LinkedIn and looking for people that way. You mentioned already that there's read.com and other websites where people are looking for jobs. Gosh, you share so much. With the neighbors as well. I just love walking around the city, and it doesn't have to be a shop or a street, a place where you walk into, but you can network on the street as well. Just start by smiling at people. You will be so surprised. We went to an event in Budapest, and the distributor was sitting next to me, and I said, okay, you speak to the lady next to you. She said, oh my God, no, I'm too scared. And I just said to her, you know what, look at her and smile at her. She was, she did that, and the lady started to speak to her actually, and they were speaking all night long, and it was so fun to see. So just start by saying hi, smiling at people, giving out compliments, and you will be so surprised. There will be so many people that are dying for some kind words and for speaking to you. So I think this is the only thing I can say to you now, is just always looking people in their eyes, looking people's eyes, and give a smile. And start just to be their friends. Do not think about the business. Just actually start making friends and connections. And all you want is to take their email address or connect with them on Facebook, so you can later prospect them for the business. That's how I do it.
Brilliant, excellent. Thank you so much for that, Andrea. Yeah, I was actually going to jump into also you can start blogging, you can start doing websites, you can start doing email collections. There's so many things that you can do, and there's a lot of online resources for this stuff. It's not something we normally teach throughout our systems, and it's not obviously really duplicatable that easily. So it's not something that we always go into. But the world of the internet is just amazing what you can do with it, and so. Just have fun with it all and find what you're comfortable doing, right? And test out a few different little things and see, okay, this is my thing. I always ask, like, what area should I focus on? And all of my sponsors will always say, do a little bit of everything, because you'll you'll find kind of what works best for you. But also, when you have that diversity, you'll never know where somebody's going to come from, right? You never know if it's going to be that person next to you on the bus or whatever else, right? So we're a little bit over time today. I apologize for the technology difficulties in the beginning here, but go out there, and all I've got to say is this. This week, I would just focus all of my time, like all of it, seeing how you can get people to, those of you that are in the UK, to the London event. Like, you know, there's nothing else throughout the entire year that will get somebody so excited about our opportunity and get them to see that bigger picture. The recognition that we have this Saturday is crazy. It's probably the best recognition you'll ever see. You know, and so it's there's no better time than getting somebody to this event. And if you have that right person that comes to this event, that could be your next Blue Diamond, your next Team Elite. And so I would focus like crazy on it. Those of you that are eligible for the competition I set up, obviously make sure that you get those 2 other people registered there as well. And Sunday's event for, you know, how we're going to do this business, I've been sent all the slides, and it's just going to be amazing. Like, you guys are going to learn so much from that day, and it's going to be so many great stories, and it's just going to be parts from every part of our business, not just social media, not just offline, but everything. And so a lot of it is going to spend on recruiting, how to find people, and so on. So have an awesome week, everybody, and I look forward to seeing everybody back on the Ruby Call next week. Bye-bye.